So I chose to become a computer engineer because way back when I was probably in preschool, my grandfather had this old Commodore 64 that I would play games on. I learned to program when I was in fourth grade. In QBasic and DOS, I would make silly little games that had a little character that I could move around on the screen. In middle school, I was introduced into robotics, so I started making little robots that could just move around on my desk or whatever. And then in high school was actually my experience on a FIRST robotics team. Before FIRST robotics, I thought I was going to be a machinist. Just, turn the dials, push the button. After being involved in FIRST robotics, I realized that, hey, this engineering stuff is really cool. My name's Derek, and I graduated in 2010 from Lake State, and I focused on robotics and automation in the computer engineering program. If you have an engineering degree, no matter what field you're in, from computer, electrical, mechanical, there are multiple jobs waiting for you. I would absolutely recommend Lake State for their engineering program because of the hands-on approach that they take to the curriculum. The education I received at Lake State is actually pretty unique in that there's a strong focus on laboratory experiences. Lake State really redefines the classroom by changing the focus from a theoretical perspective to a hands-on practical perspective. You actually build circuits, you actually program robots. It's not just doing math and problems from the back of a book. And I think that really sets Lake State apart from a lot of other universities and a lot of other programs. My concentration was the robotics and automation option. What I learned in that program was not only how to use a robot in a factory, but I also learned how it works inside, how to actually build a robot from scratch. Not only can I use a robot to move some material or paint a car, I can also modify that robot to do new things that have never been done. It's a night and day difference between students who have worked in the lab and actually built things and tinkered with things versus students that have a purely theoretical background. Like if it's new, they can't cope with it. If it's not a formula that they can regurgitate from a book, they don't know how to do it. Versus people who have had hands-on experience, they can look at a new problem and kind of come up with a solution to it. And having that extra knowledge has really been useful in my career. Lake State has an open door policy for all their professors. I mean, if you have a question and you want some help on whatever, you can just go up to any of the professors, even a professor you don't have. Just knock on the door and be like, hey, I'm in electromagnetics, I'm having problems with this, can I get some help? And they'll be more than happy to help you. In general, like even after hours and nobody there, I could call up one of my professors. He gave me his phone number or whatever, and was like, if you have any problems, just call, it's on the syllabus. So I did, and sure enough, he helped me work through a problem over the phone at like 9 o'clock at night before the homework was due the next day. So yeah, I don't really see that happening at a lot of other universities. Being a Youper myself, I of course love the environment at Lake State. I'm very outdoorsy. I like to go camping, I like to go hiking, mountain biking, fishing, and so Lake State is like, it's paradise for me. As far as being on campus though too, it was super easy to make friends because of all the different engineering societies and engineering student groups. Like I was a member of IEEE, which is basically a group for electrical engineers, computer engineers, and we would build robots and just do side projects, 3D printing, whatever people were interested in. And so it's going to be a really exciting experience. Engineering is an extremely hot field. I just happened to be walking through the library and I noticed that there were interviews going on for this ADD software company, and it said something about robotics being involved. So I just kind of knocked on the door and said, hey, do you have an open slot? And Anthony DeLimba, the owner of the company, said, sure, come on in. And so we just had a good conversation there for, I don't know, half hour or so. Shook hands at the end of the day and didn't really expect anything from it, and then wound up working here, almost working at my dream job by accident. And so a lot of the exciting stuff that I do is I get to travel around the world. I've been to the UK, I've been all over Mexico, the United States, Canada, and actually I'm really excited about this summer because I'm going to be going to Brazil for the first time. It just happens to be that the project is going to overlap with Carnival. So right now I'm working at ADD Software, and I'm a controls engineer, which means that I integrate robots for factories all over the world. I actually am partially responsible for recruiting and interviewing employees, and we cannot fill all of our open positions. At any given point in time, we're always looking for between 3 and 6 new entry-level engineers, and we simply cannot fill the positions because there aren't enough qualified engineers available. Specifically, what we do here is paint applications. We are constantly pestering Lake State to recruit more engineering students and push them out the door because people that come out of Lake State are going to be good engineers. I have a master's degree and I have 2/3 of a PhD. I was working on a project and my professor really liked what I was doing, so he offered to pay for my PhD work. So I decided, sure, that sounds like a great deal to me. My senior project experience was pretty unique, actually, in that we were given the opportunity to install 4 brand new robots into the robotics lab at Lake State. We essentially started with a blank concrete floor, and we installed the conveyor, 4 new robots, PLC, we wired everything, turned every bolt, and programmed the system. We created a set of laboratory sort of curriculum for the new students to actually learn robotics using that new setup, and that was actually an awesome experience because what I do here at ADD Software is exactly that. And so now I just have to finish another publication and I will be done with my PhD. I was initially very concerned about going to grad school because I wasn't sure if I was going to be on par with all of the other students that have gone to like U of M and other big universities. But I actually found that I was just as well prepared for grad school coming from Lake State as everybody else in the room. I had the exact same foundation as everybody else. The burning of the snowman is absolutely my favorite tradition at Lake State. Every spring they build a big paper mache snowman, and to celebrate the first day of spring, basically, they light it on fire and we have a huge camp out right on campus. I mean, there's nothing better than that. And another tradition that I remember is Winter Carnival. Every Winter Carnival, we have a snow sculpture contest where we build these huge sculptures and statues out of snow. If you go to Lake State, you can't leave until you have your unicorn hunting license. And also the banished words list. Every year, Lake State publishes a list of words you're not supposed to use anymore, and it's good times all around. Well, I'm very happy about my time that I was able to spend at Lake State. I'm very glad that I got a hands-on education because it's just put me ahead as far as comparing myself with my peers.